I'm grateful for everyone being here today to hear me tell my story. I am no longer comfortable staying silent about the things that have happened to me, and although this may come as a shock to many of you in this community, this is a reality that I have been living in for years, and I can no longer stand to not tell the story of what has profoundly affected my life in all of the events that we have alleged in our complaint. And I asked him where we were going, and he said up to his room. And I asked him why we were going up to his room, and he said because the players on his team were in the lobby and he could not be around them. He didn't want to be seen in the lobby with the players. So I was hesitant, and he said, "Don't worry about it, it's me." And as someone that I trusted for a long time, I realized I shouldn't overthink it and follow his lead. I walked up to the hotel with him and continued to tell myself not to overthink it and that I could trust him. Out of nowhere, he got on top of me and pinned me down to the bed and held my arms down with all of his weight while he kissed my neck and my face and my chest. And as I kept asking him to please stop and to get off, he laughed at me. I continued to ask him to stop over and over again without any use of my arms because he continued to hold me down. I could feel him rubbing his erection on me. And he continued to laugh at all of my pleas to get off and to stop. I thought he was going to rape me. I finally was able to get up after what felt like forever, and I immediately jumped up to leave the room, and he came around and grabbed me from behind and again held my arms down so I could not move, and started kissing my neck again. I kept begging him to please let go and to please stop, and he continued to laugh in my ear. He finally let me go, and I got out of the room. Yeah, to the first part of your question about why I waited to come out, I understand that many of you probably are wondering the same thing, and I was scared. When someone assaults you and you think you're going to be raped, coming forward is a scary thing. And I have spent years now dealing with this, trying to forget about it, hoping that I could push it to the side and bury it, and hoping that time would heal. And that was not the case. And I feel like over this time, I was able to muster up the courage and have enough conversations with Garo where I felt comfortable to talk about this. As Garo mentioned earlier, I was 25 when this first happened, and as a young woman who had only been in this job for less than a year, that was incredibly grateful for where I was and had worked incredibly hard to get to that point, I was scared, and I felt coming forward would jeopardize every aspect of my life.
As far as going to the police, you've heard her describe why she didn't do it back then, and more often than not, if you go to the police a few years later, it's very difficult to put together a case where you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. The standard of care is much higher, and so police departments are not very likely to get involved in a case this old at this time.